Good Saturday night, everybody, and let's jump into the fire. Ron Hall here. Hello to everybody out there. A pretty decent Saturday night. We hope everybody has enjoyed your day. A couple of times it got a little cloudy, like we were going to get some rain, but so far nothing, which I'm very, very happy with. First off, let's see if I can. 23 days sober for my daughter, Amy. 23. It's a big accomplishment. It's a huge accomplishment, and I'm very proud of her. Hello, Kim. Hope everything is wonderful at the Klein household and everybody is enjoying football Saturday. And I will be honest with you, I've not watched a whole lot. Although I did like the Ole Miss unis. Given time, Lane Kiffin will have Ole Miss into a contender. A few things to go over tonight. I know we'll try and get you out of here before the Clorox Orange game comes on. There's nothing I hate more than the Clorox Orange and Rocky Top. I hate that song. It sucks. But we've got 2 new members of the piece of shit list. And one of them is a person. And one of them is an entity. So today, President Trump did make his, what everybody knew was going to be the nomination for the Supreme Court. Big whoop. Big whoop. If you will go on my Facebook page, a high school buddy of mine, Scott Orth, is a state legislator in the state of Iowa who is running for re-election. Take a look at his most recent ad. One, it's really, really well made. But it also shows you what your state legislators should be doing. None of them around here are. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. The state legislators from Hamilton County and Northwest Georgia are not doing the job they were elected to do. And as it stands right now, I will not vote for any incumbent that is not doing their job. And you can come up with all of these bills and legislations that you want to play to your base, but until you're frickin' doing something for the people, go the hell home. If I weren't so damned old, I'd run against you, and I would call you out. But I'm too damn old. An interesting night of high school football last night, and the guys at Scenic City Sports, as always, did a bang-up job covering the high school football. So did Coca-Cola Red Zone, and then all 3 local television stations, 3, 9, and 12. Ben and Paul over at Channel 3, 2 buddies of mine. Dave Staley, who's been a friend for a long, long time, and John Madewell over at Channel 9. And then Rick and Angie Morian over at WDEF. They do a great job covering high school football, but we need to remember where this saturation coverage of high school football really got its start. And that was on Friday nights with Stump Martin. 2 hours, sometimes 2.5, devoted to high school football. Started at 11. Sometimes we went off the air at 1. Sometimes we stayed longer. Had to get it all in because we had camera crews and reporters at double-digit games each and every Friday night. And now you get saturation coverage of high school football on all 3 network affiliates. And that's pretty dadgum good for a city the size of Chattanooga, because I guarantee you most cities could care less. And I still notice some non-social distancing and all that stuff, but it is what it is. The NFL handed out some fines this week, and they were nothing to sneeze at to Pete Carroll, to John Gruden, to Sean Payton for not wearing a mask. I did catch the beginning of the Ole Miss Florida game, and it was kind of disturbing in a way because both teams came to this agreement that prior to kickoff, everyone would take a knee in solidarity for what's going on in this country. And you could hear boos. Not B-O-O-Z-E. Boos. B-O-O-S. And that was disturbing. Now, keep in mind, state of Mississippi, one of the last bastions of the Confederacy, or symbols of the Confederacy. They did away with their mascot, Colonel Reb. No more Confederate flags. But you could see the mindset. All the players agreed, all the coaches agreed, and they got a good shot of Florida head coach Dan Mullen. He took a knee. This was after the national anthem. It's when the teams were out on the field getting ready for the kickoff. It took about 15 seconds tops and people booing. Shame on you. Shame on you. But today marked the highest daily new COVID case reporting to date across the country. There is a second wave coming. People are taking their guard, or dropping their guards, but there's a second wave coming. It's already coming throughout the world. And there's a reason for my mug tonight, and I'll get to that. But it's coming, and it could be worse than the first one. It could be worse. So wear your masks. Socially distance when at all possible. If you are one of the vulnerable, like me, be extra diligent. Because, hello, Diane. Hello, Shirley. I see Clint Powell is in the house. During the break podcast, he is the king of he and Brian Stone are the kings of podcasting in Chattanooga. And I think he's on tomorrow with Rich Mazingo on the Lake Marketing Mix Radio. Give it a listen. but COVID's not gone yet. Although it's time to unveil the first new member of the piece of shit list. And that is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. A state only second to New York in the devastation of COVID, and that dumb SOB lifted all restrictions last night. Florida is wide open. Maybe that'll be their new tourism campaign, you know. Come to Florida, catch COVID. Now you watch the cases in the state of Florida skyrocket. They will skyrocket. And that piece of crap, Ron DeSantis, he's kind of reminds me of Fred Flintstone with a bad haircut. But why you would open your state up like that? So basically what that means, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville can be packed out. It'll be interesting to see the Miami and Florida State game tonight. No restrictions now. Fill it up. So, congratulations to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. You are the newest member of the piece of shit list. Now I'm going to address something that is very near and dear to me. And there has not been one voice in Chattanooga talk about this. We have entertainment reporters. We have super knowledgeable radio people. Not a word. Crickets when it comes to the fact that after 17 years, Rolling Stone has revamped what they consider the 500 greatest albums of all time. And what has always been deemed as the greatest album ever made has been dropped from number 1 all the way down to number 24. In the new list, which was released this week, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band slid from number 1 all the way down to number 24. Kind of disturbing. Now, it was replaced at number 1 by, on the original list, the number 6, considered the number 6 album of all time. And I think a lot of that has to do with the times that we're living in. But the original list in 2003 was Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? And give me a second while I pull this up. I have to wait on my phone to actually do crap, because sometimes it's slower than stink on crap. Speaking of the POS list, but What's Going On by Marvin Gaye signaled his basic break, so to speak, from Berry Gordy's Motown formula, and he started writing songs from his heart. And What's Going On is one of the greatest songs ever recorded. And it was, to me, as an ex-musician, it was just about right at number 6. It really was just about right in its spot at number 6. And it moved up to number 1. The number 2 stayed the same. Pet Sounds, the Beach Boys. Sgt. Pepper and Pet Sounds are interchangeable in that they changed the way music was recorded. It changed the way music was recorded between Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys and George Martin of the Beatles, their producer. That everything is judged on those 2 albums. But I don't have a big bone of contention. Well, I do, but hi, Susan. But what justifies dropping Sgt. Pepper all the way down to number 24? The highest rated Beatles album, I think, is number 5, Abbey Road. Which, as far as albums are concerned, I prefer Abbey Road to Sgt. Pepper. But you've had a lot of new additions to this list. Now, we got to preface that by saying that Jan Wenner no longer runs Rolling Stone magazine. He sold it a few years ago. And so his influence is no longer there. They have a staff of young, hipster people working for him now. Gone are the days of Ben Fong Torres, Jan Wenner, Cameron Crowe. The people who really made Rolling Stone a Bible of, one, the counterculture, and number 2, the music Bible. They're gone. So now you have Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift is talented, but I'm sorry, none of her albums are of the 500 best ever. Drake puts out some great stuff, but come on. Billie Eilish or Eyelash or whatever you want to call her. The only newcomer to the list that can be justified is Amy Winehouse. And if you have not seen the Showtime documentary on Amy Winehouse, you're missing out. Such a talented young woman. To watch her do a duet with Tony Bennett and see the admiration that Tony Bennett had for Amy Winehouse is incredible. Her album belongs. Taylor Swift, Drake, Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry, you don't measure up. You just don't measure up. I mean, Give me a break here. Nirvana's Nevermind moved up into the top 10. I can understand that because for a short time, Nirvana changed the landscape. Problem is, Kurt Cobain couldn't handle it. Revolver, Rusty, it's gone. The list is crap now. Rusty, who appreciates, although he is substantially younger than my old ass, appreciates the music that got us to where we are today. But Christopher Cross, that one album, his first album, Christopher Cross, that alone is one of the 500 best albums ever made. It's gone now. Now, I'm looking at the old list, and we'll just look at the top 10. And then I'm going to pull up the new list. And now in the top 10 from 2003, the Beatles occupied number 10 with the White Album. Number 9 was Blonde on Blonde, Bob Dylan. Number 8, The Clash, London Calling. The Clash was a whole lot more than that Rock the Casbah. A whole lot more. Number 7 was Exile on Main Street, the Rolling Stones. Number 6, which is now the new number 1, What's Going On, Marvin Gaye from 1971. Number 5, Rubber Soul, the Beatles. Number 4, Highway 61 Revisited, Bob Dylan. Number 3, Revolver, the Beatles. Number 2 was Pet Sounds, and number 1 was Sgt. Pepper. Now, let me access the new Rolling Stones top 500 albums. And you'll have to bear with me here for a moment while I make this damned old laptop work the way it should. And see if I can, if they'll give me the chart. Here we go. Because it's in different phases. And I'm waiting on the page to open up. Here we go. Here we go. And where's my list? Okay. Here, I've got to scroll down, and it takes a minute because the Rolling Stone magazine may have the most I don't know what the right word, busy website, because the photos in it are so big. But I'm waiting on it to load up. I gave you what the 2003 top 10 was, and now we're just waiting on the list to load up. But I can't, and I don't want it taken the wrong way, is Marvin Gaye's What's Going On actually a better album than Sgt. Pepper, Pet Sounds, Revolver? Keep in mind what I told you. The highest rated Beatles album now is number 5, Abbey Road. And for whatever reason, this damn list just does not want to load. It is a busy website. It's got too much crap, and their photos are too big. and everything else. So you just got to bear with it a minute. But we know number one is Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. Number two remained the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. And now if this page will load, and I mean, I've got unbelievably fast internet, but that's how bad the Rolling Stone site is. And in fact, I think they moved Prince, Purple Rain into the top 10. Prince, one of the most talented people that has ever lived, but is that one of the 10 best albums ever made? Keep in mind, it's a movie soundtrack. They dropped the Beatles' White Album all the way down to number 29. All of a sudden, at number 27, we got the Wu-Tang Clan. Sorry, don't see it. There it is, number 24, Sgt. Pepper. Velvet Underground dropped big. Bruce Springsteen dropped big. Somehow, that electronica garbage of Radiohead took a huge climb. And we're about to get into the top 10. Give it here. London Calling dropped all the way down to number 16. Public Enemy, number 15. Exile on Main Street dropped all the way down to 14. Thriller jumped from number 22 to number 12. Revolver dropped from number 3 to number 11. Number 10, Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Number 9, Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks. Belongs. Prince of the Revolution, Purple Rain at number 8. Number 7, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors. Number 6, Nirvana, Nevermind. I've not got a problem with Nirvana being in the top 10. Abbey Road, number 5. Number 4, Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life. Number 3, Joni Mitchell, Blue. Number 2, Pet Sounds. And number 1, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. Now that's the change. And is that because of a younger generation that is now doing stuff at Rolling Stone without the influence of its founder, Jan Winter, who I've had my problems with for years since he was the founder of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And there are still some people, although they are making up for lost time in inducting some people that should have been inducted a very, very, very long time ago. But for totally doing away with the history of rock and roll in your new top 500 albums of all time, Rolling Stone magazine, you are the newest member of the piece of shit list. You have taken rock and roll history and burned it to the ground. Now, we've got a classic rock station in town, or they think they're classic rock. You never hear the Beatles. You never hear Springsteen. Always remember, the definition of classic rock is from the Beatles on Ed Sullivan through 1979. That is classic rock. That is the actual definition of the genre of classic rock. So, throw out the hair metal. That's not classic rock, which is what they live for. Beatles on Ed Sullivan to 1979. Basically, what it spells is from the Beatles' first appearance in America to the end of the Eagles. Everything in between is classic rock. We do have a station that is devoted to some stuff now, and that's WFLI, both AM and FM, 97.7 on FM. And I was lucky enough to have worked there a few times. But, oh, me. The humidity is killing me. But that's it. Your two new members of the piece of shit list, Governor Ron DeSantis of the state of Florida, for lifting all COVID restrictions. And I love what Kim said, that so many people think it's no worse than a cold, but it's far worse than that. That's paraphrasing what Kim said, and I hope she'll forgive me for not getting it right. So Governor DeSantis and Rolling Stone magazine, which will never grace my doorstep again. Welcome to the piece of shit list. We're going to get out of here. Don't forget Tuesday night, debate number 1. That should be very, very, very interesting. But the Big Orange are on, and I know y'all want to watch the Big Orange tonight. So we'll let you go watch the Big Orange. I know last I heard, Georgia was struggling and against Arkansas. I don't know where it's at now, but go watch the University of Tennessee. Thank goodness. Football practice has begun over in Mockland in preparation for their only game of the fall on October 24th at Western Kentucky. So, what, 3 weeks from now? Month from now? Right at a month from now, the one football game for the Mocs. I wish I could go, but no can do. I can't go for that. And I'm going to leave you with this. Isn't it ironic? I'm channel surfing today and I see Liberty University. They were taking on, crap, I forgot now who they were playing. Florida International. Yep, Florida International and Liberty. From up there in Lynchburg, Virginia, the home of Liberty University. And I just found it ironic that their president was forced to resign after a sexual scandal, Jerry Falwell Jr. And then I got to thinking, when they got a shot of the head coach on the sideline, and lo and behold, it was Hugh Freeze, who, while at the University of Mississippi, spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on hookers. Make up your mind, and I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. I hope you have a great Saturday night. And thank you, Kim. You guys are up. Georgia's winning. 34-10. Thank you, Alan. I didn't see you come in. Everybody have a great Saturday night. Have a great Sunday. We will see you Monday night at 7 o'clock. And we'll see what kind of mischief we can get into. Have a great weekend. Remember, be kind to each other.
That's all, folks.